Hello, boys and girls. We are on page 130, and this is problem set lesson 21. The first question, or number 2, asks John says that because rhombuses do not have perpendicular sides, they cannot be rectangles. Explain his error in thinking. So we need to make sure that we explain that rhombuses do not have perpendicular sides, do they? So in order to be a rhombus, a quadrilateral, which means 4 sides, needs 4 equal sides. Some rhombuses do have perpendicular sides. These are squares, and squares are considered rectangles, okay? So problem number 3. Jack says that because kites do not have parallel sides, a square is not a kite. Explain his error in thinking. So a kite needs to have 2 pairs of equal adjacent sides. If the pairs are the same length and the angles are all 90 degrees, then the kite could be a square. I'm going to turn the page to page 131. Page 131 asks you to answer the questions by checking the box. So I'm going to be checking the box so that you guys can see. Is a square a rectangle? It's always a rectangle. Is a square a kite? It's sometimes a kite. Is a rectangle a parallelogram? It's always a parallelogram. Is a square a trapezoid? A square is always considered trapezoid. Is a parallelogram a trapezoid? A parallelogram can always be a trapezoid. Is a trapezoid a parallelogram? A trapezoid is sometimes a parallelogram, not all the times. Is a kite a parallelogram? A kite is sometimes a parallelogram. Okay. For problem H, it asks you for each statement that you answered with sometimes, draw and label an example that justifies your answer. So for B, it says when the rectangle is sometimes a square, this is what we mean. Okay, it would have all equal sides. That's why I marked it in red. These little lines tell me that they're equal in all sides. For F, when the trapezoid has 2 pairs of parallel sides, a trapezoid can. So look at this trapezoid right here. The top and the bottom are parallel to each other, and the sides are also parallel to each other. And then we have problem G, when the kite is also a square. So a kite can also be a square when all of the sides are equal lengths, just like over here. Okay? Now problem 2. Use what you know about quadrilaterals to answer each question below. For A, it asks you to explain when a trapezoid is not a parallelogram, and then sketch an example. So right here, when the trapezoid has only 1 pair of parallel sides. So the top and the bottom are parallel, but the sides are not parallel. Look at them. They're kind of like the opposites, right? And for problem B, explain when a kite is not a parallelogram. Sketch an example. So this is when a kite is not a parallelogram. It looks like a kite, doesn't it? If you were to turn it on this side, it looks like a kite. It has a little string. When adjacent sides are congruent, which means equal to each other, but opposite sides are not parallel. So you notice this side and this side are congruent, meaning equal to each other, but this side and this side are not congruent to this side over here. They're different. So that makes them not equal to each other. And that is all you guys have for today. Good job.